Hey there, everyone. It's Adrienne Lopez, your integrative awareness coach, coming to you. I just wanted to share a couple of things with you today about my new 11-week meditation series that I just posted today, both on my Facebook page, Mind Heart Space, and then also my Mind Heart Space YouTube channel that I just created. And so if you get a minute and you're on the YouTube channel, go ahead and please subscribe. I'm really trying to build my YouTube channel, and I would really appreciate it. And while you're there or here, depending, then you can go ahead and enjoy the first week 1, of creating your inner temple. And I wanted to share with you a couple of thoughts and ideas behind the whole series, why I created it, and what exactly you can get out of it for yourself. So I have been a meditator. I'm meditating regularly for over 20 years. I've studied multiple different types of meditation, mindfulness meditation, Vipassana meditation, Sufi meditation, Ekankar meditation, and the list goes on. And the reason why I've studied all these different types of meditations is I wanted to find one that worked for me. There's lots of rules, and every school has its particular requirements and instructions for meditation. And so I would go to a school of meditation to study, and I would follow their directions and their methods. And then I found myself at times feeling really fenced in, like it wasn't a joy for me to be doing this meditation. So what I've discovered is that if you're not going to enjoy something, most likely you probably won't do it. And so for beginning meditators, it's really important to find something that supports you in your practice. So that's part of the reason why I'm creating in the process of 11 short weekly practices that you can take with you. I'm calling them portable practices. They're short, they're simple, but they're also accumulative. And so I don't want you to be fooled by the seeming simplicity of each particular week's practice, because the more you do them, the stronger your practice gets, the more grounded you become. And they become, as I mentioned, accumulative, so they build on one another. And so that's one reason why I created this 11-week series, is to support meditators in their practice, especially those who have struggled. I know for me, depending on my mood, that sometimes I do really well with guided meditations. And the reason, there's actually several reasons why I made this meditation. The second reason is that these meditations are constructed as, I guess you could kind of call them as soul journeys. And so when you go on a soul journey, there's a particular purpose of revealing the truth of who you are. Now, when you think about this in contrast or through the lens of, say, mindfulness or Vipassana meditation, where you are not interested in identifying with images or thoughts, this practice is where we actually use our imagination, that toolbox within us, to actually identify the blueprint of who we are. Now, so this is perhaps in contrast to the idea that we are releasing our belief that we are our thoughts, or we are our impression, or that we are our imagination. And so this is to be taken in instruction, but this is also for a particular purpose. You can't release, you can't, what is the word? You can't, I guess, find freedom from a self that you don't even know yet. And so that's one of the challenges that I've had personally. It's another challenge that I've heard from many people who didn't actually or haven't actually fully embodied the truth of who they are yet. So to go into a meditation where you're having to overstep the self is kind of like, I'm not there yet. And you know what? That's okay. I am exactly where I am in my process, and I'm not going to try to sidestep it. I'm not trying to bypass it. I'm trying to embrace it and then use it powerfully to come to a place where I can fully embody the truth of who I am before I'm asked to release it or to stop identifying with it. And it's kind of interesting because I don't think it's all or nothing. And this is another challenge I've been having with different schools of meditation where the world is painted through a very exacting lens, and this is the way it is. And what I found it out is that's the way it might be for that person, and that's the way it might be for that person, but that's not the way it is for me. And so when you try this on, you can do the exact same thing and find out for yourself if this guided style of soul journeys is something that really works for you, because it's my firm belief that we all come to this planet with our own unique purpose, our own unique expression of our embodied truth. And some styles of meditation work really well for some people, and not so much for other people, depending on their lessons that they're here to learn, the expression of who they are and how it manifests. So that's the second reason why I created this 11-week meditation. And the last reason is I'd like you to think about the idea about how we are structured. So I call this the matrix of the self. This is the place where all of our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas about the world, they all come and mesh in a consciousness. And we call this the self. And it becomes embodied in our bodies. It becomes acted out in the world. And so what you discover when you begin to meditate on a regular basis is there are layers and layers and layers of conditioning that we have placed in our consciousness and then forgot about. It's been happening ever since we showed up on the planet. And a lot of this programming or code is not ours, right? We just took it on from the people around us. And then we've lived into it. And sometimes, or many times I should say, we end up with results that are less than ideal because they're not for us. So part of this whole theme about creating your inner temple is first cleaning it out. And this is not a linear process. This is all happening. All these things are happening together at once. There's a releasing of old code or old information. And as that code is released, we create more space for the truth of our own vibration, the truth of our own blueprint to arise. A lot of times it's covered up and it's forgotten. So this is like an archaeological dig. We're returning back to the foundations of who we are. And it's interesting, at least it is to me, that the idea of the temple, There's temples in every corner of the earth. And I included some beautiful photos in the guided meditation. As you are guided along, you will see the temples on the screen of your device. And these temples are physical places that people have gone to for, in some cases, thousands and thousands of years to connect with their higher consciousness or their divine consciousness that has been believed to be outside of oneself. In some traditions, this is not the case. In many traditions, particularly yogic traditions, Hindu traditions, where they talk about, and in some mystic wisdom schools, Christian mystics have discussed having the little cave in their heart, or the inner cave, or the little red cave. And they're talking about their heart space. And I talk about this in the week 1 meditation, so I won't go into it in depth here. But I just want to say that while we use our mental capacities, our intellect, in the material world, which it was designed to function in, we also have the organ of intuition and connection, like a portal to not only nature on this planet, but the cosmos, because we are, that part of us is eternal. It functions in a different realm, and this is the realm of the heart. So when we, sorry, there was some noise outside that startled me. So part of this process is letting the mind rest in the heart. So this yin yang, this masculine male, this duality consciousness can unite. And it's not just a concept in our minds, it's an embodied experience. And so we have, as a global collective consciousness, in my opinion, have come to the place in the road where we have clearly, more than ever, 2 different roads we can travel down. One is to continue on the timeline of duality, separation from self, separation from others. And then the other timeline is a unity consciousness, coming into the wholeness of who we are. And that includes creating the inner space for that. It is a redeeming of that internal space. It's a repossession of that space, and a cleaning out of social conditioning and programs that are encoded in duality and in separation. And so we are rebuilding the temple. We're creating the temple. And this is also very important, as I've worked with lots of people who are really struggling to, even before this whole situation unfolded on the planet, really dealing with emotional wounds, unconscious blocks, overcoming their own resistance to their life, and what that entails. And then now, in the state of the world, with the wild ride we've been asked to take, people more than ever need the tools to become grounded and anchored as we ride the choppy waters of this reality that is unfolding right now. And so if we don't have a place of centeredness, if we don't have a place where we inhabit that is ours, then when the storms come, it is more difficult to stay stabilized and to remain in equanimity and in peace and in calm, and be that beacon of light for those around us that need to see that there is a way. There's always been a way, and we're being given the opportunity to walk that path right now on this planet. And I think it's pretty exciting. So I'm glad you're here checking it out. And I hope you can join me most Sundays. I'm really kind of playing with this, and I would love to have your feedback. I was thinking about creating just a special group on my Facebook page for the weekly meditations. I can't do all of them live, but I figured I could do some of them live. And I was guessing that that would give people a greater sense of security and support and a sense of privacy as they go through this process, which can be quite, can place people in quite a vulnerable place. And so I would love to hear your thoughts. What would make you most comfortable to participate in this? Because I mean, I'm really making it to share it with people, and I want to share it with the most people that I can. So if you have any feedback or comments on what would make it more accessible to you, I would love to hear them. You can instant message me, or you can leave some comments in the box below in the description box. That'd be super great. I mean, in the comment box. And I think that's all for now. Thank you for stopping by and listening. And I will see you real soon. In the meantime, please remember what a valuable treasure you are. Namaste. Bye for now.